Well. Welcome to Ep.1 of the Crypto Fire Outpost. So, what is Crypto Fire Outpost? So, just in case you don't know, I need to explain what FIRE is. FIRE stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. And I want to challenge the other FIRE ideas out there floating around YouTube. I want to be unconventional but logical. I don't want to assume anything. I want to look at it from a different angle or perspective and present that. So I watch these finance videos every day, pretty much since YouTube started. And I read books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I listened to the gurus like Warren Buffett, David Ramsey, Susie Orman. But I have a family, and it's pretty freaking hard to see how I can achieve financial independence, right? I've been on this quest, and I've had ups and downs, and it's been hard. All the different rules that they abide by. They talk about such as 4%, how much you need to have in terms of net worth or income to be in what bracket, what age you should be to have a certain amount of net worth, and it's just not easy, right? And the reality is, I think, of course, everyone is different, but I just needed more instead of getting this kind of generic advice. Yeah, and I don't have a CPA license, and I'm not ever giving anyone financial advice here and on this channel. I'm just going to tell you what I think, right? But in any case, as an introduction, I wanted to also just explain why I wanted to start this channel, and because life is getting harder, and I realized that, man, the salaries are pretty much the same, but everything else is going up, right? But more importantly, when it comes to building wealth, what worked for my parents' generation no longer works today, right? They invested in real estate. They were telling me like, hey, become a landlord, buy real estate. That's the path to becoming wealthy. Or, when I was really young, I remember going to the bank, and they opened up a bank account to invest in high yield savings accounts, right? And then later on, they taught me to buy stocks. But now it's like, okay, I have cousins and stuff, and they're struggling to even buy a house, and I'm not even sure if people graduating nowadays can afford to buy houses, especially on one income. And then even if you look at stocks, right, buying stocks, they're other than the top 7 companies, the FANG stocks, so to speak. The S&P 500 has been, a generically good overall. In general, it's supposed to return on average, let's say 10% a year. However, recently, the top 7 companies account for all the returns for the S&P 500, right? So if you took out those 7 companies, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, all those companies, Facebook, the earnings on the S&P would be not good. That's pretty much where all the gains come from. But now, like, if you want to invest in a stock, Nvidia is an all-time high. Other companies are all-time highs, and it's like, can you see the growth? Are they going to double in the next 2 or 3 years? I can't see it, right? And so there's no more, on Warren Buffett's point of view, he's a value investor. He's always looking for value in stocks. And all the stocks are overpriced right now. I mean, where do you put your money, right? You can't leave it in cash. I mean, inflation's going up, and you're just going to lose money leaving it in cash. So you got to invest it. I get that, but the advice that worked for my parents and the advice that I still have today is just, it's not easy, right? So I get that. So what I need to get to is financial freedom, financial independence as quickly as possible, right? Without being irresponsible and super risky. That's the key there. And so following what the previous generation taught me will not get me there in the time frame that I want, right? I don't want to wait until 60 to stop working, right? I'll be too old to do the activities that I want. And that's the last thing. I see myself as like, man, if I retire at 60, I may not be able to travel. My body's already aching, and it's just too long. I can't wait for that. So, but despite all that, I mean, this channel will really be towards just trying to achieve independence, look at it differently in terms of time frame, but also looking in terms of what it actually takes, right? Not just looking at the dollar amount. I think there's different things to consider that may give you the financial independence or freedom that you're looking for. We'll get into that in later episodes. So I think that right now we have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to actually do it in a reasonable amount of time. And yes, it involves crypto. And if you're here, I hope that you're open to the idea to talk more about how crypto can be used to achieve your FIRE goals. And primarily, I'd like to talk about Bitcoin. I know there's other type of cryptos too, but again, I'm trying to focus on getting there quickly, financial independence without being super risky and so forth, right? And super irresponsible. So there is definitely a huge discussion around the different cryptos that can help you achieve that. But I think the majority of it and it should be Bitcoin. So school doesn't teach you financial education at all, right? My kids, they go to school. There's no classes really that are focused around teaching you real financial education, explaining all the different Roth ideas, 401ks, IRAs, traditional IRAs, what you should do, when you should invest, and all these, right? So maybe this is a good channel for kids, my kids and other kids to have a place to come and talk, and everyone, essentially all ages, right, to understand, maybe learn something, take it away, at least get you to see building wealth as in a different perspective, something that is doable, but we're going to have to change the way we do it, right? Like, because like I was saying before, what worked in my parents' generation, I don't see it working very well today. So this YouTube channel to me is like having a virtual outpost floating out there in the interwebs where anyone is free to stop by and just chit chat financial stuff and gets the support that they need so they can make it to the financial freedom sooner than later, right? I know it can be a tough road, and I think that this Crypto Fire Outpost, is a good abbreviation. It's CFO, but as I said before, I am not a CPA licensed or offering any financial advice. But I appreciate you stopping by, and until next time, be well.